right, are you Donnie Smith?
Yes, ma'am.
This is cause number 26 DCCR 0072. Mr. Smith was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to, just like that, to the second-degree felony offense of assault on a peace officer. We took that plea, reset the case for sentencing, and then Mr. Smith was not present for sentencing. I issued a bond forfeiture. The pre-sentence report was already done, and he was arrested, and we're back here now. And so I guess a couple of questions. One, Mr. Coleman, is the state still ready to proceed and go forward with sentencing?
We are, Judge, with the understanding that there is no agreement to the type or the length of probation.
Correct. And so the agreement was for a probation, but not agreed as to whether it was a deferred or a straight probation and the length of time on that probation. Have you both had an opportunity to review that pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state has, Judge.
Any additions or corrections to that report?
None from the defense, Your Honor.
None from the state, Judge. If we could have just a brief argument, please.
Sure. Ms. Holmes, you may proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. And looking at the PSR report, it appears that all of the current pending matters all occurred on the same day, which is out of character, obviously, for Mr. Smith, who has no previous criminal history. He had no previous juvenile history. And so on this day, he was experiencing, he has been diagnosed with a few mental health situations such as bipolar disorder, ADHD. And I think a part of that is why he acted out on this particular day. He is aware that his actions have brought him here, and he is remorseful, and he knows that if given the opportunity on probation, he will abide by the rules and do what needs to be done to successfully complete probation. It's also important to see that they evaluated him at a low risk level, which means they feel that he is a probationer that would benefit from specialized programs with probation, as well as with the mental health services, and they don't feel that he would likely reoffend or be an issue on probation. So I believe that's very important for the court to see. Your Honor, we are asking that due to his lack of criminal history, that he be afforded the opportunity to be placed on deferred probation to show that he can abide by the rules. Obviously, we will be requesting that he be placed on a mental health caseload as well, to aid with that. And also he wants to get his GED. As the court can see, Mr. Smith has an 8th grade education and did not go to high school. And he does want to get his education and get his GED so that he can have gainful employment and help to provide for his family. And Your Honor, we are asking for deferred probation. The length of time, obviously, whatever the court deems necessary, but we do believe that deferred is the best for this situation.
Why didn't you come to court for sentencing?
I didn't have no transportation at the time, and I was sick.
Did you call your
I
bondsman?
called the bondsman. They said there was nothing they could do about it. I tried to get a hold of my lawyer, and she didn't answer. And I called the courthouse, and they said just try to come in later on that day. And I had no transportation. I have transportation now, though.
Mr. Coleman?
State will concede that the defendant has no criminal history. However, I think the probable cause affidavit doesn't do justice in describing what happened there, Judge, between this defendant and Sergeant Noah Visser. This was an all-out fight, Judge, and it went on for some time. This defendant struck Sergeant Visser in the face. It went on. They went to the ground. They went on for about at least a minute until backup units arrived and were able to assist. It's regrettable that I could not get Sergeant Visser here today so that I can enter into evidence and play for you the video of that incident. I suspect that the court would find it very probative as to what you would do. But it was an all-out fight, not like one of these deals where they're just wrestling and tussling and somebody kicks somebody or somebody elbows somebody. This was an all-out fight, Judge. In my opinion, that's what warrants or merits a straight post-conviction probation as opposed to a deferred.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. I can just tell from the police version in here without seeing the video that this is different than a typical assault on a peace officer that we get where, like Mr. Coleman said, I mean, this, I don't know what was going on, but it also seems like it was very out of character. I agree with Miss Malfina, I mean, Miss Holmes, that something was obviously going on that day. What I'm going to do, Mr. Smith, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty previously, freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. I'm going to give you an opportunity today because I'm not going to find you guilty. I'm going to defer all proceedings, but I'm going to place you on probation for 10 years. So I had considered a straight probation with less time, but if I'm going to give you that opportunity for deferred, it's going to be a long probation. You do everything you're supposed to on this probation. There's no reason you couldn't even get off of it early, but it's going to make sure that we know that everything that you need is getting taken care of. I am going to order that as a $500 fine and order that you follow all of the rules and conditions of probation. That is going to include participating in any mental health care services through Spindletop. If they say you have to do something, even if you don't think you need it, it is now part of your probation. So you're required, if it's medication, if it's counseling, whatever. In addition, I'm going to order that you get your GED. I'm glad that you want to do that. It's not going to be easy since you stopped school so early, but it's still possible. You can do it. And now you're going to be required to do it because it helps everybody if you do that. So I'm going to order that you start that process within 45 days of today. So you don't get to wait and say, well, I've got 10 years to get my GED. I want you to get that GED because it's only going to help you do better in life. If you do everything you're supposed to in this case, this is the best opportunity of your life today to make some real big decisions that change your life because you don't have a felony conviction on your record. And if you're successful, the case will be dismissed at the end. You'll never have a felony conviction.
That's cool.
The other side, it's great because having a felony conviction changes everything. You can't get certain jobs. You can't live certain places. You can't vote. You can't have a firearm. I mean, the list is long on how bad having a felony conviction is. So you've got that opportunity today. If you violate any condition of probation, then you'll be back in here on a motion to revoke your probation. You can be found guilty, which means you'll get the felony conviction. And then I can send you to prison anywhere in that length of time of the punishment range, which is between 2 years and up to 20 years in prison. Do you understand? I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed. And so you've waived your right to appeal. Also, I'm sorry. Let me see the trial court certification. I just need to change the date. I'm going to handwrite it because that's from the other one. Also, I am making a finding. There was a previous bond forfeiture in this case dated April 28th of 2026. All right, you can go back with the bailiff. Good luck. Well, here, let me hold on. There you go.